laid back, relaxed, you know, down to earth. And the city is just big enough to be a big and interesting city, but still small enough that you sort of like always know everybody and know how to get there. So I think it's a really cool mix in a moment. Just stop growing, I guess. You know, don't get more people here. It's just the right size, just the right mix. So yeah, I'm really like pleasantly surprised of, you know, how cool it is, how nice it is. And yeah, we had a chance to see the Chili Peppers. We had a chance to spend the day on a lake there, on a boat. We went, yeah, actually jumping in the water as well. Do some shopping. I bought some Texas cowboy boots for my wife. So the whole package, you know, it's actually really pleasant to be here. We tried different restaurants, so it's a really cool trip so far.
All right. Well, so not everybody owns horses yet. So not everybody has. A
yeah, that was another image I had in my mind. Everybody would be riding horses and chewing tobacco.
All right. So I read somewhere that you had a lot of energy when you were a kid, and that your parents kind of got you into sports to help channel that energy. Were there other sports that you loved as a kid, or was it always cycling? Was it the one that you kind of were drawn to?
Well, I tried, as every German kid, I tried soccer first. Football, soccer. I think it's called soccer here, right?
Yeah, soccer, football.
Yeah. And I was just terrible. I just, my like hand-eye coordination or hand-foot coordination is just terrible. I would only be good if you would play with like a few kids on a large field, because I could just outrun everybody. But if it was on a small field technical, I was just really hopeless. So I said, I was frustrated, nah, that's not me. And then more or less the school, the teacher came to my parents and more or less forced them to make me sign up for some sports, because I was a wild child. So I was getting a little bit in trouble sometimes, and I said, the boy needs to do some sport to burn off the extra energy. And I picked up cycling, and I trained like for a week or 2 weeks, and I won my first race I entered. And of course, you know, you're a 10-year-old boy, you get a bike for free, you win your first competition, you enter, and I was hooked. I was cyclist forever. So that's how it started.
You talked about your father, and I think I read somewhere that your father told you, and this is kind of an extension of the shut-up legs that's become so popular, but I may be wrong, correct me if I am, but I read that he told you that your body doesn't quit, that your mind does. It kind of helped you kind of think about it, you're riding and always riding so hard the way you have. Is that true?
Yes, it is actually. My dad was a hard-working man. He worked, I think, 45 years. How do you say, the guys who put like the metal together? Yeah, he did something like that. So he worked really hard to, you know, feed the family. And every now and then when I would go, oh, I can't do this, he used to go, son, your mind has to control your body, not the other way around. So that's how I created the shut-up legs. So actually I stole it a little bit from my dad, the shut-up legs.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that out to you. We'll talk about, since we're talking about shut-up legs, and Jens, I told him I was talking downstairs that what I was going to ask, and he asked, I said, you can talk about anything you want, and he took great joy in that I wasn't going to put any filters on it, but when you started telling kind of the story that became, you know, Shut Up Legs, did you ever have any idea that it would become as popular as it is and take off the way that it did?
No, not at all, and I think that's the beauty about it. You don't know what it ignites the thing, and sort of it became a self-igniting process. You know, people thought, hey, that's cool, so they told another person about it, they liked it, and suddenly, you know, you come to California and there's like 30 times on each climb written shut up legs, people just on the side of the road just jumping up and down, go yeah, shut up legs, tell your legs to shut up. And actually really, they also support you not only in the good times, because I remember the first stage of Tour of Utah, I was struggling a lot. They sent me to work, first of all, I was jet lagged, it was really hot and I was just not ready. So I had to work hard, and like 20 Ks to go, I just really exploded. I think even it caused an earthquake. Like I exploded spectacular. So I was dead last, creeping up that climb there like a snail, almost like the speed of a snail. And people were still positive, like, yeah, come on, tell your leg to shut up, you can make it, you're almost there. So it's good to have some loyal fans who also stick with you when you're actually not winning.
So obviously, outside of racing back home in Germany, you have 6 kids, am I right? 6?
Yes. And the dog and the cat.
And a beautiful chocolate Labrador retriever, Linda. Yes. How many cats?
And 1 cat. It's a ginger-colored Lara.
We're giving you the full breakdown. what I'm kind of alluding to is obviously off the bike you have a big family. What do you guys like to do together when you're not on the bike and when you're at home?
Well, it's sort of like, you know, when I come home, the kids see me coming, then somebody yells, "Hey, Daddy's coming back." So I just have enough time to, like, you know, I keep my bikes on hooks in my garage, so I just hang the bike up there. And then the kids are hanging on my legs and arms. "Daddy, play with me first." "No, we do this first." "Daddy, we go fishing." "No, Daddy, we go homework." "No, Daddy, come with me. I want to watch this movie with you." So it's like, "Can I maybe have a quick drink of water, quick, and maybe a shower first?" So they keep you busy. They keep you busy. Sort of like, ever heard of this new modern disease, burnout syndrome? What sometimes the Hollywood people have? You know, I have that every night, but I just can't give into it. Life has to keep going the next day. So every night I'm like, I feel like a truck just run over me. But yet you can't give into it. You just gotta keep getting up the next day and do it again. And everybody who has kids probably knows what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I think even Linda's the same way. You're always, she seems to be ready for you to walk her as well, correct? So,
yes, she is, yes.
She's always waiting with the leashes when he told me. So, obviously, what sports, are there any sports that you kind of like to follow? Obviously, everybody knows you for cycling. Or anything that you take a personal interest in or that you like watching? I know your kids are in sports, but...
I do like a lot of sport, and I watch sort of like most of it, or all of it. I particularly like in winter, is it biathlon? You know, the guys on the skis to do the shooting. Biathlon?
Biathlon.
Yeah, biathlon. I really like that a lot. And just when you mentioned fly fishing, actually, you know, Ben and me, we not only have the geocaching in common, he explained me a lot of things about fishing, because I just picked it up like last year with my kids, and he had given me like a few inside tips, and also we both really like bow and arrow shooting. So I shoot in my backyard sometimes, and he was giving me some really helpful tips. So actually, in this case, he was my professor, my teacher.
Archery, they're going to go into all kinds of
biathlons,
archery. Can you see? Yeah, this cross-country skiing with a gun. So off the bike, obviously, people seem to really want you to get into television. I know you talked about it a little bit in an interview that I read. Once you retire, is that something that that you'll consider, and have you even thought about it?
Well, I'm afraid to go to TV. I'm just not beautiful enough. I mean, just look at my nose, it's way too long. So I wouldn't have a chance. I'm not fishing for compliments here. I'm just being realistic. But like sometimes in the team bus, we joke about that we should have a reality show in the Voigt house. And people say that would be such a success. You know, having like, I don't know, 20 cameras in our house, the daily life of the Voigt family, 6 kids, a dog, a cat, and my mother-in-law living with us. You know, can you imagine? There's not one silent second in this house.
I'm pretty sure we could get that picked up in the U.S. pretty quickly. Yeah. I'm sure NBC would pounce at that opportunity just to show it here. Obviously, you have a very, very strong connection with the fans. They seem to hang on every word. They seem to be waiting for you and just love to be around you. What riders do you kind of watch or that you like to listen to or respect or that have a great connection with their fans that you kind of draw from?
Well, I would think Chris Horner is a good example there. He's really close to the fans. And he also got some funny stories to tell. You know, he's been in the business for quite some years. You know, and he talks a little slower than me. But, you know, he's a really funny guy. It's absolutely cool to watch him, you know, how he interacts with the fans. I mean, when we go to California, people cheer when he opens the door of the bus, steps out. People just go all crazy, all mad about him. So that's pretty good. Sometimes interesting to follow Mark Cavendish because he really speaks his mouth. There's no filter. One out of his mouth in a second, and you know, you go, oh wow, that's pretty brave. You know, so that's pretty entertaining to follow him a little bit.
So obviously, when you're out on the road, you get a chance to, when you're covering some miles, and sometimes you're only able to focus on what's in front of you. But there are other times that are more lighthearted or more where you guys are not racing as hard. What's the kind of the funniest or oddest thing you've ever seen out on the road that while you were racing, or that that you'll remember?
What I would say, if I have enough time, it would be.
Oh, you have plenty of time.
Like in the Tour de France one day, you know, going RPS, finish was RPS, so I just managed to hang on to the bottom and just get my, you know, get Andy Schleck in the right position, fight it out with the yellow jersey, with Evans and Contador. So I'm dropped from the front group. But I'm way ahead of the peloton, so I'm just all by myself, riding up my speed, you know, saving energy for the next day. There was a week to go. So I'm just like in my little dream world, riding up this climb. Suddenly somebody else, Jens, I want to have your baby. And I look over, and there's a 55-year-old man with a belly like that, and a beer like that. 50-year-old, Jens, I want your baby. Oh, really? And I did speed up a little bit to get it. Another funny thing is here in the US, there's this guy, probably all have seen him on TV, the guy with the horns. Like one day he shows up with like the Texas Longhorns, the next day he got like a wild gold sort of like horns, and he got the antlers there, so every day something new, and he is pretty strong. He runs quite a while beside you. He's pretty strong, that guy is.
That ever scare you when they get too close?
Sorry?
Does it ever scare you when they get too close?
No, I never had a problem with that. No, never. So that's all good.
Yeah. Alright, I'll give you one more chance. We've got a little bit more time. Any story that you want to share about your trip, or anything that's really stood out that you've enjoyed, or your favorite story to tell that you can tell to a big crowd?
Oh, is everybody above 18 years old here? Just kidding. No, I think this trip, it has been really entertaining, you know, and you guys really taking good care of us to make sure we were all happy. Started off in a good way in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, had even one evening at time to like just walk up and down the main street there to listen to some live music and stuff. Coming here, the day on the river was pretty awesome, but really rewarding was that day on Thursday afternoon where we went to that school. Like us three together, we went to a school. They were all 5th grades in Fort Worth. 5th grade from 9 to 10 years old. And they, in such an innocent way, they are so honest in their questions they ask you, and then they just soak up every word you say, and that was just really good. We had some little fun games with them, and question and answer, and you could see that the kids were really like eyes wide open, and that was really rewarding. I mean, okay, for me as a dad, you know, one of my daughters, Adriana, she's 9 years old, so she's about that age like the kids were there, and that was really rewarding. I think we should do more of this events. That was really nice. Like, you know, gives you the warm feeling here. You go, I have done something nice. I really, you know, touched the kids and hopefully changed a little bit. You know, we were talking about like how important it is to stay fit, healthy, happy. So that was a really good moment.
Well, guys, I want to thank all of you for coming up here. We're going to give you guys